The journey is conversations with ordinary people about stories of transformation and how we may have had setbacks in our life and how we persevered through those, how we've learned from those obstacles, and how they've maybe helped us on our path today. Well, welcome to the journey. My name is Kevin Polky, and I am the host of the journey. And today, as we are wrapping up the 2024 year, I had another reflection that I wanted to bring to you. It is based on me thinking about and reflecting on um, uh, an infamous work by Charles Dickens. Um, it has been done numerous ways and numerous variations from Walt Disney doing it with Donald Duck playing being Scrooge um, uh, to a black and white version of it, or early on in when film first started coming out. It is the story has been told in numerous ways with numerous either animation or actors, and different variations of it has been reproduced. And what is such a pull to this story? So as I was thinking about and reflecting on it, I was thinking about the idea of watching, like we talked many times about individuals who are guests on the journey, of how they go through their own hero's journey via Joseph Campbell. Uh, that they go through some type of setback that they have and are called to something greater than themselves, actually who they were always designed to be. And then they have to go through this sense of journey of uh, facing fears, facing, in this case, the story of facing ghosts, so that it brings our primary character, Ebenezer, to a place of self reflection and how he became Scrooge. When I think of this story, I think of how Ebenezer became Scrooge, and then how he then made this change by the end by getting a visit from his former business owner or business partner that he owned a business with, Marley, as well as um, ghosts from Ebenezer's past, what was going on in his life currently, and then what would life look like if he didn't change. When I think about Ebenezer in his initial journey of business and a desire to be successful, to desire to make a name for themselves, to be maybe famous, but definitely he had a desire to be wealthy, that he put his family aside and even the love of his life. He chose business and work and the pursuit of money and business success over family, as well as um, his fiance and girlfriend at the time. That I think as a result of this, that this pursuit led him to having to choose these things over family and friends and love, caused him to be embittered, and almost became a self-fulfilling prophecy, that uh, that he had to go farther and farther inward um, if he wanted to continue pursuing those goals. And that even though the ghost of Christmas past revealed those things to him, it didn't soften his heart. And equally, when the ghost of Christmas present came and visited Ebenezer, that he continued to stand almost with a sense of conviction that people were making their choices and there are enough programs to work with the poor, and that his wages for his employee was fair. And again, his heart had not softened, and he continued to resist and continued to think about the mindset that he had created since he was a younger man. But it was when the ghost of Christmas future visited him, and that if he continues to live this way, that he will, at some point, like all of us, will pass from this physical earth. And in his case, no one will be there at his funeral. That instead of respect, um, that they were having more pity for him. That no matter how much he had acquired or how much he had saved or how much sacrifice he had made to do this, that none of those riches he was going to be able to bring with him post this life. And that if that wasn't enough to catch his attention, it was when he recognized that his employee, Mr. Cratchit, his youngest son, who was handicapped, was no longer at the Christmas table at their house, which implied that he had passed. And it was the combination of seeing what his future will be and then what Mr. Cratchit's future was going to be without Tiny Tim. Somewhere in there, that caught his attention, motivated him to soften his heart, and he woke from that last part of his nightly adventures and decided to take action. And that action was to be wishing others Merry Christmas and to spend some of his money and being generous with it, bring a feast to the Cratchits. So, what are some takeaways? Well, I think one takeaway is that uh, we all have our story of how we may end up getting developed, just like Ebenezer became Scrooge. He made choices. We make choices over goals, things that we want to succeed at, and that we may choose those goals over family and friends and people that are close to us. That if we're not careful, we become blinded by it and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. That we can all fall into this case. That number two, I think this idea that we are called to something greater than ourselves, greater than just those self-directed goals, that we are called to something bigger and to continue to try to serve the greater purpose. And lastly, that no matter what, we have time to be able to transform into who we were actually created or designed to be. I think there is not only in this story is it entertaining, but I think how can we take a look at ourselves in the mirror during this time period, and how can we then transform into who we were really designed to be during this Christmas time period. As always, I appreciate you being here and look forward to being with you next week.